Officer Kelly reporting for duty. Leaping leprechauns. If it isn't Harry Hooligan, up to his old shenanigans. That blunderous hooligan is robbing Southwicks, and on a Sunday at that. Come on then, lend a hand. We've got to catch the crook, recover the loot, and be careful to boot. Listen up, don't get KO'd by wild shopping carts, beach balls, or biplanes. Get moving. There's not a moment to lose. That's directly from the Keystone Kapers instruction manual. It's Keystone Kapers. Atari 2600. Remember department stores? Keystone Kapers for the Atari 2600 is a game published by Activision. That's right, Activision. I'll say it again, Activision. You know Activision as the company today that makes Call of Duty and other things like Call of Duty. And they own Blizzard and Call of Duty. But Activision, during the Atari 2600 times, back in the day, back in the good old year of the 80s, they were a different company. See, Activision was actually formed by former Atari staff who got tired of not getting credit for their games and moved away from Atari to form Activision, making games for the Atari 2600. Keystone Kapers is one of those games, developed by programmer Garry Kitchen. You may know Garry Kitchen because he's worked on some other games. One of them actually involving the kitchen, pressure cooker for the Atari 2600. I guess it's quite literally in his name, right? But he also works on some Commodore 64 games like Ghostbusters, some NES games like Battle Tank, Boy and His Blob, Treble and Blobonia, see that 5 times fast, and some of the shitty Simpson games on there, and Super Nintendo like Super Battle Tank. Dude's been around for a minute, and this is, from what I see on his portfolio, I think this is my favorite game from Garry Kitchen. In Keystone Kapers, you play as Officer Kelly. And just like the manual said, the shenanigans of the blunderous hooligan, Harry Hooligan, he's robbing Southwicks, which I guess is a department store. Your job is to catch him. It is an action platform run and jump game. There's not really a lot of platforming, but there's a lot of running and jumping and ducking. Your goal is to make it up the department store, dodging obstacles, and catching Harry before he gets away with the loot. Each round gets faster and faster, harder and harder. If you hit an obstacle, it actually detracts from your timer. That's very cool. You do have lives, but they're all based on if you fail the timer. So, if you get hit by an object once, you might still make it through the stage, but you're going to lose a few seconds off of your timer up top. But if your timer runs out, then you'll lose a life. This game's awesome. I really like Keystone Kapers. I've been playing this game for a very long time, and I'm very happy to be reviewing it today. I don't know why it took me so long. Some of the best Atari 2600 games are the ones you can just kind of pick up and play. And this is definitely one of those games. At first, it does seem a little slow. When you start playing, the obstacles are slow. It's easy to dodge things. But as you go round per round, it gets harder and harder, where they're throwing shopping carts at you at full speed. The planes are coming at you. You know, you have to duck under those. They're throwing 2 beach balls at you at once. The little I don't know what they are. They look like heaters, but whatever the things you have to jump over. There's always more and more obstacles each round, and it makes the game more exciting as you go along. There's also an elevator in the middle of the department store, which is usable. It's a little tricky, though. If you don't time it right, you could miss it and not get in there correctly. Or also, if you do the opposite and you get in it before Harry passes the elevator doors, he will start running the other direction, and that could also mess you up because you can't go down on the escalators for some reason. So be careful. Don't fuck up. You might lose Harry. There's not many platform games on the 2600. I can only think of a handful of other ones, like Activision's own Pitfall, of course. We all know Pitfall, or hopefully you know Pitfall. Or I think Mountain King is a good example. There's not too many in this genre. So Keystone Kapers is very unique for its time. And it's a game that I definitely have played a ton of. I used to play this all the time on the Activision Anthology on the PS2 with my parents, which in that version, you got to hear some great music in the background. Some great 80s music. So if I could play 80s music for you to give you my childhood experience, I would. But YouTube doesn't like that, so I'm not. Who remembers department stores? I feel like that idea is almost as dated as this game. A game from 1983? Yeah, a game from 1983. Department stores. Man, that takes me back to like my great-grandmother giving me a JCPenny catalog. And like, or it was a JCPenny or Sears. I want to say it was JCPenny. And asking me to like circle the things I wanted. Which oftentimes I would just find the like most video game related things. I actually think I got from JCPenney, I got like a Intellivision like plug and play thing one time or something. But yeah, I would just go through the catalog and like you see all the pictures of like, you know, kids and their toys, and then like the next page is like lingerie, and then the next page is like gun cabinets or something. Back before you could just buy everything online. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. You killed the department store. You asshole. Keystone Kapers, absolutely recommend this one if you have an Atari 2600 or if you're getting an Atari 2600 Plus. I know it exists. Play Keystone Kapers or just emulate it, you know? Who cares? It's Activision. They're not making money off of this game anymore. I would love it if they would bring these games out again. But fantastic game. It's not going to run you too much if you want a copy of it. Keystone Kapers, it's fucking great. What we don't get to see is what happens after. You catch Harry, and then it goes on to the next round. But Officer Kelly is holding a billy club. What I want is the Atari 2600 cutscene, where you see him just absolutely brutalize Harry, because apparently he does this all the time, and Kelly's getting sick of it. So you know there has to be a point to where he just goes beyond his policeman duties and just, you know, there's like some police brutality. You know, he just beats the fuck out of this guy that keeps stealing from the same department store. Stop, Harry! Stop stealing from the same department store. Go to a different store, man. They know you here. They know you by name. You're a bad criminal. if the store you're robbing knows you by name.